I mean, obviously, good to win 2 games in one day. We came out, I thought, in the first ball game, and we kind of kicked the ball around. We didn't feel it was a well-hit ball that Sousa makes that play 99 out of 100 times, and we turned double play there, and they ended up scoring a couple of runs, and they took advantage of it. And we had another play where we didn't make a play. We had somebody picked off, and they scored again a couple more times. And you take away those 2 plays, and we played pretty good. The weather's not great, obviously. Bad as far as, temperature and a little slick, but I like the way we pitched for the most part. And, a couple of our starters got into some jams, and they fought their way out and didn't give up big innings, gave up a run or 2, and that was it. And then we'd come in and counter. Just about every time they'd score, we'd score, and usually score more. So, I don't remember all the details of the first game since we just finished the second game, but I like the way our guys played. They competed hard, stayed into it, and they knew the importance of winning league games, and you could kind of see that. And then second game, after 2 games previously that you score a lot of runs, you're just thinking, maybe things aren't going to go your way. You're going to have to really play well, and they scored again early on us, and then but I thought Landon battled out of that first inning, only gave up 1, then we come in and punch in 5, and I think Bowles hit a homer, that 3-run homer that gave us 5. It was good to see, but I mean, we scored 50 runs in 3 games. We scored 50 runs in less than 24 hours, pretty much, and it's because our hitters, they battle and they make you throw strikes for the most part, and got a lot of big 2-out hits. Pitchers didn't walk very many people, and I just told the team, even our relievers were coming in with good lead. The game, for the most part was over, and they didn't just come in there and go through the motions. Man, they pitched, and that was really good to see. It gives the coach confidence, players confidence, and I like what I saw from our bullpen the last 3 games.
How pleased are you with what you're seeing from Davlin and Kozel in particular?
I mean, to me, that's a super easy question to answer. I mean, those guys have been amazing. Davlin just seems like he's always on base. He scored 50 runs this year already, and he's got double-digit homers and got 50 hits. And Kozel was in that lineup early and just wasn't going to be denied for the most part, and just got better and better. And now he's really hitting, and if you make a mistake, he hits it pretty hard all over the field, and he'll fight you with 2 strikes. And, his RBI count, he's up to like 37. And, probably 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago, he might have had 18 or something. I don't know. He's driven in a lot of runs lately, started innings, finished innings with big hits, finished off games, honestly. So, those 2 hitters have been really good the last couple of weeks.
And you moved Cam up to number 3 in the lineup for this second game. Is that something you've been thinking about, moving him up? Is it something that makes
Well, when I took Maxwell out of the game, because he's, we're trying to not keep him healthy, and his hamstring got a little tight. That's why I moved him up. I did move him up anyway from 6 to 5 because he'd been swinging it to maybe protect one of those right-handed hitters, because just felt like that I needed to for the first game. But yeah, we got a lot of guys who can hit in the middle of the order, and they're showing it.
Seemed like you kept the approach kind of the same way all the way throughout the end. How difficult is that to kind of keep continuing to take walks even as the score gets out of hand?
Yeah, I mean that's just being a baseball player. That's the way they train, and they're all the drill work they go through, and the mental preparation, and all the the scouting reports that you go over. You don't want to go up and give up at bats just because you're in a hurry or you're up 10 or 12 runs. You don't want to change too much. You got to just keep doing it the way you've been doing it. That's why you got a big lead in the first place. But yeah, they went about it very professionally. When they got the lead, they just kept going up to the plate and doing what they do.
Guys like Frazier getting an at-bat in SEC play, even in a blowout, just how valuable is that maybe down the road beyond this weekend?
Only time will tell on that. It could be this year. somebody tweaks something, or we have to do, make a move, or you just never know. And if you can get a young guy like that or utility guy some experience where he can go in and play third, short, or second, and maybe get you a big hit, I think it makes it a lot easier when they've had a little more game experience.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday that you were saying that the lineup wasn't, as dangerous hitting 1 through 9 collectively. Do you think a 30-run day like today kind of redeems that a little bit?
That I said it wasn't that dangerous?
Or I guess I should say like 1 through 9, like everybody hitting 1
Yeah.
through 9.
Yeah, and you're never going to have 9 guys going at once, but, we got 2 or 3 guys that are super hot the last few days. You think about last weekend, Kozier was super hot, and a couple of other guys had good, dabbling as well, but, it wasn't like you think about Vandy. I mean, the 2 Loys didn't hit much, and, yesterday they got 4 hits and 3 or 4 more today, or 5 more today, and it's hard to have that many guys. But if you can have a lineup that's 9 threatening, that's what you want. Guys that foul pitches off, and when a pitcher gets into the second and third inning, he kind of just catches his breath. You don't want him to catch his breath. You want him to think, hey, oh man, I got to face this guy. Well, I got this guy, and then this guy's waiting. And that's what wears down pitchers, not only physically but mentally.
51 runs. I mean, that's the most you guys have scored in an SEC series since '97. And in your career, have you ever, played in a series as lopsided as this in conference play?
I don't know. Probably not. It sounds like I haven't. There's been a lot of them. So probably at Arkansas, it's probably the most lopsided. I think you just told me that, but it's pretty good hitting teams at Nebraska. We scored a lot of runs a couple of years, so maybe we did then. But as far as here, I don't know. I guess.
You said yesterday it felt like you were playing in a cloud. Cam said that you had told them maybe after the game that it felt like some of those Nebraska days.
It did, with the wind, and that was normal Nebraska day a lot of times. It was always windy. It's just a little cooler, obviously, but yeah, it's been. We've had really good weather though, for the most part. We've had good hitting weather. There's been some nights when the wind blew in and it knocked down a few balls, but we played in some parks where the wind's blowing out. Here it's been blowing out a little bit. But I like that we can steal a base when we need to. We go the other way. We hit line drives, and if you make a mistake, a lot of times the guys can leave the yard. So it's an offense that can win under, in any conditions, I feel like.
You said that you scored 51 runs in 24 hours. You also did it in just 18 innings. I mean, basically 2 games. I mean,
Yeah.
just how impressive is that?
Yeah, it is. It's real impressive. I mean, we took our walks. We got hit by pitches, unfortunately. I don't like our guys getting hit by pitches at all, but if you do, it's to start an inning or keep an inning going or whatever. But we got hit by a lot of pitches, it seemed like, at least yesterday. And today, just a lot of walks and a lot of big hits. I mean, I think we had 15 hits a game, somewhere in there, and I guess 16 both games. So, yeah, it's, you don't expect it. You hope you can score a lot of runs. And SEC teams they're pretty good, and they're pretty powerful. And, Missouri didn't have their top pitcher this weekend, and also one of their best players, their shortstop, was out, and I think he had the highest batting average on the team. So that contributed a little bit, but really it was what we did at the plate, and that was just really be relentless and not give up at bats.
It seems like when Carson gets a shot at it, that he's hitting the ball hard, he's driving in runs.
Yep.
When you did give him the shot today, is there anything that he said to you, or just something simply from his body language that let you know that he was gonna get one?
Well, it's interesting on him. We started him a couple 3 weeks ago, midweek game, and the wind was blowing straight in from right. He had 2 balls that would have been out of the park that night, and I felt bad for him, because he's not starting. And then he has a couple of really good at bats. He crushed 2 pitches, and they flew out instead of flying out of the park. And we as coaches see it, we get it. We think he can hit. We just have some really good outfielders, and we've got good defenders and good hitters left and right, and but I have no problem starting him against Friday night starter. I think he can hit him, and he's just kind of been patient, and when he gets his opportunities, whether it's a pinch hit, he doesn't just go crazy at the plate. I mean, the guy's got like 11 or 12 walks already. Seems like he sees 7 pitches every time he gets to an at bat, and he squares up a lot of pitches. So he's a definite guy that's is going to end up being a big part of our team. But down the stretch, the next 30, 40 games, hopefully, he gets a bunch of big hits and he'll get some starts.
One of those relievers you brought in today was Christian Fouch. How good was it to see him come in and pitch the way he did?
Yeah, it was great. I watched his bullpen the other day. He didn't know I was. He threw it inside, and I was up in the weight room looking down through the window. Right when he got done, I came down there and talked to coaches. I said, man, he was all over the plate, and I mean, he was right there, and it looked easy, and I didn't know how hard he was throwing. I said, how hard was he throwing? Because it looked like he was just playing catch, and they said 96, just playing around. And I said, well, maybe that's what he needs to do, just throw 96. And, he threw 98 mostly today, 97, threw a couple of good splitters. It was really good to see because we need him. We need Wiggins. We need all those guys. And there's a few guys that didn't pitch this weekend that we're going to need in the weekends coming up. And, we got Arkansas State on Tuesday, and we got to get through that one. Then we get to go to Georgia, and Georgia, they don't lose at home. So it's going to be a big challenging week ahead. But it's like I told the guys, enjoy this one for a while, and we'll move to Arkansas State tomorrow.
Was there anything in particular Fouch needed to figure out or fix, from his last outing to today?
Probably have to talk to Coach more than me, Coach Hobbs, because he works with him. I think he just needs to know he's good more than anything. He's good. Just go pitch. Don't worry about it. And sometimes you get caught up in I hit that guy and I walked that guy, and oh man, you start questioning yourself. It says just go do what you do. If they hit you, they hit you. We'll field it. But we need him. We're going to need him.
And last one for me, Cole Gibbler, he got his first SEC action today. Just how good was it to get him out there, especially given Coyle's status?
Yeah, it was really good because we were planning on using this past weekend at Vandy, and we didn't have to. He got 1 inning in Little Rock, and then he got an inning today. We were planning on using him in a leverage situation this weekend, and we didn't have one. So we have confidence in him. It's like every time we put him on the mound, he gets 2 strikeouts an inning, and then he's hard to hit. So that's going to be a big piece of the puzzle. We feel like going forward.
I think you started Ryder for both games of the doubleheader. It was just not uncommon, but maybe a little rare. Just what's allowed him since he's got here to be able to do that? Well,
in our league, it's very common. Starting catcher is your starting catcher, and he's usually strong and is in shape enough to do that. We pulled him after 5 innings of the first game, and then just let him go the whole game today, the second game. What allows him to do it, first off, he wants to be out there, and he's been built up to catch like that. We've given him some breaks on Tuesday games and bring him in if we need him, and it's good to see him getting going with the bat. I think it really kicked it into gear last weekend in Nashville. Got some big hits for us, and got some hits this last 3 games. So getting his average up there a little bit. Which the average to me is what it is. Sometimes it doesn't always tell if you're having good at bats, you're hitting the ball hard. But yeah, he's ready for that. Okay.